Meta. No, not meta like Facebook. I mean meta, like meta talking, meta jokes, meta implications, meta, all that. That stuff is very annoying. Okay, I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you guys. That stuff's really annoying. Ever since Deadpool came out and basically just ruined comedy, ruined everything. Now, I'm not saying Deadpool's a bad movie, but like the meta jokes really stuck, and now everybody's doing it, or at least back in the 2010s, earlier 2010s, everyone was doing it. But yeah, meta, and it's here to stay, unfortunately. But not all meta is bad. Implied meta is really good in my opinion. Basically, it's a meta thing. Could be a joke, could be I don't know, a stance, an implication maybe, of something that is real, and could be referring to anything. And usually it's everywhere. For example, I would say music. There's a lot of meta stuff where it just talks about, like, maybe an artist had a downfall and they're talking about it. Like, yeah, I kind of fell off. That's meta, I guess you could say. Not as meta as, like, you know, like Sonic looking at you through the screen and just like, yeah, I'm Sonic and I'm in a video game. But you know what I mean. So, yeah. So there's Starfield. Starfield is Bethesda's probably most meta project they've ever done. I think. I don't know. They probably maybe done something else. But I think this is their most meta project. And by the way, there are spoilers for the main campaign. Major spoilers. So if you want to leave, there you go. You got time. So get away. Shoo. Off with you. So if you're still here, you either don't care or you've already done it. So basically, if you didn't know, you go through the Unity. So the Unity, the pieces you're collecting were for a thing called the Unity. And once you collect all the pieces, you can go through the multiverse. Yeah, I know, right? That's pretty cool. But before you do that, you have a conflict with two characters. These two characters are called the Hunter and Emissary. Now, the Emissary doesn't really... We don't care about him yet. Unless you guys want me to make a video about him, we don't bother with him. Or her. It. Them. I don't know. But we do with the Hunter. Now, the Hunter at first glance, during your first playthrough, he may seem like some just average mumbo jumbo, I'm evil because I'm evil type person. But if you peel the layers back and you play the campaign again on New Game Plus, or go through the Unity multiple times, you'll start to empathize with him a little bit. You might even understand where he's coming from. Now let me explain. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think he's a villain, or at least not the average sense of what a villain is. He is a person just like you. Now let me explain. So, like I said, when you first play the game, he says some weird cryptic things that sound evil, like, I don't care, and I don't care who I hurt, or whatever, and I'm just evil, you know, all that stuff, you know. Well, he doesn't literally say that, but yeah. And that sounds weird, right? But once you play the New Game Plus, you start seeing a different side of the Hunter. Basically, once you play New Game Plus and you choose not to tell Constellation that you are Starborn, you get to play the campaign over again. But this time, you get Starfield special text thingies. I don't know what they're called, but I guess special dialogue options, I guess that would be a good name for it. So you get special Starfield or Starborn dialogue options. And when I played the main campaign again for New Game Plus, I decided to use these special dialogue options. And what I found was very interesting. So there was one specifically where Vladimir's like, yeah, I'm going back to the key to just fix it up or whatever. And then you get a special dialogue option as a Starborn to say, yeah, I think the Starborn are going to attack. And so they're like, oh, really? You think so? Well, yeah, you're probably right. They might attack. So here's the pieces of the Unity. And you can go to your ship or your base on any planet, and then you can go and just put them there. And when you do, the hunter gives you a little visit. He starts chatting a little bit. And what he says is what inspired me to make this video. Now, I won't be going verbatim what he says. I'll be playing it in the background, like, you know, you can read it if you want. But basically, he says something along the lines of, wow, man, you got past me. Obviously, you're smarter than you look, or something like that. It's been a bit. But he basically is just like, yeah, man, that's crazy. You're pretty cool. It's crazy that you figured it out. And you got past me. I was gonna kill your friends. So you tell him don't do that, you know. And then he's like, well, okay, I won't kill them. And also, I also did kill the collector guy. If you play the main campaign, you know what I'm talking about. I killed the collector guy. I killed all the other people that have the pieces that you need. And also, you should tell Matteo about the word unity. And then he just leaves. That's interesting. Why would a villain just casually go in your ship and then just talk to you like that? Like, he doesn't do it threatening either. He's very just, like, nonchalant about it. And it's because he's not a villain. Again, let me continue. So then you tell Matteo about Unity, you do your whole thing, and then you meet up with the emissary and the hunter. And the hunter basically says that he's been through the Unity multiple times. So now it's time to explain the lore of the hunter. Now, I might mess this up. I was doing research, and some things might be messed up, but I will leave a link to a Wikipedia page about the hunter in the description, so you can read it and you can do your own research if you want. But basically, he's a guy who has maybe been around for 200 years, over 200 years, because he says he remembers Earth. So this guy's freaking old, okay, old as balls. And so he's been through the Unity multiple times. He even says so. And he's lived and messed around for a while, and I'm assuming as a Starborn you cannot die of old age. So he's just been messing around in the Unity. But after a while he got bored of it, and he became disillusioned. Basically, he has a god complex, where everything doesn't matter. I think he slowly realized that nothing matters. Because the same things that might have made him upset after a while just slowly just drifted away. He didn't care, basically. And so now, let's talk about the Unity. Now, if you want me to go more in depth, let me know. But the Unity basically is a portal to where you can go to another universe. And I like to introduce the concept of canon moments. Canon moments is an idea in the multiverse that there are moments in time that are canon. No matter what universe you go to, you cannot change these moments. And I think Starfield has that, where certain things that happen have to happen. Nothing changes it. Like, you can change stuff during the main campaign, but you always meet the hunter and emissary. Whether you tell Constellation about you being Starborn, about what everything means, or you don't. You always end up meeting the hunter and emissary. You always end up fighting them. One of them or both of them. You always end up winning. It's an absolute point. Well, you don't always end up winning because you can die, but you know what I mean. It's one of those absolute points in time that cannot be beaten because you created it. When you enter the Unity, because the hunter and emissary are shocked that you even got here when you first do it. They're like, wow, that's crazy. You die every time. And yeah, they're self-aware as well. I don't think this is like the same hunter and emissary. It might be, but yeah. It's just, you created an absolute point in time at that point, where no matter what happens, you always enter the Unity, and you always end up beating somebody. So, with that being said, the hunter basically is aware of this. He's aware that he's stuck in an absolute point in time, that he cannot change this. And so, what he does is that he just moves everything along. But he does it in his own way. He moves everything along in his own way. Like, again, like I said, when you tell Constellation about, like, or when you don't tell Constellation, but you tell him that, oh, a Starborn may be coming, he'll be like, yeah, I killed those guys. I killed the Collector and all those guys that you have to visit normally, just to get the pieces. And also, you should tell Mateo about the Unity, because that has to happen. And I don't know, maybe it's like a conscious thing. He knows this has to happen, and he just goes along with it, which is very interesting. I think it's because he knows, like, they both know what has to happen, and so they try to get you to join their side. And that's very similar to the player. You see, the player at this point has, you know, maybe gone through the Unity a couple times. And so at first, let's say high price to pay. So high price to pay, one of the most infamous quests in the game, the main campaign, I mean, where you have to kill, one of your companions dies. At first, it's a gut-wrenching, like, oh my gosh, what just happened? But then, after a while, it's like, oh, another one died. And then you figure out how it works. You see how it works is that the companion you have the highest affinity with will die. But you get a choice. You can either go to the lodge, or stay at the lodge, or go to the eye. And if you, whatever one you choose, the hunter will not go there. And he won't kill somebody. Or he won't kill the ones you're at, but he'll kill the other one. And the companions will tell you who's going where. So, you can protect certain companions from the attack. And yeah, it works like that. Pretty neat. But the thing is that I've seen Starfield players just talk like this nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, you should kill Sam. Sam sucks. Or you should kill Sarah. You know, at first what may have been gut-wrenching or maybe even just upsetting has now become a thing that has to happen. You know, sometimes. Well, it doesn't have to happen. You know what I mean. If it must happen. But like, yeah. And so I've noticed that. And once you go through the Unity and do New Game Plus a couple times, it becomes, you know, stale. At that point, you want to change how things go. Maybe you want to side with the hunter this time. Maybe you want to kill anyone that comes in your way because you're so disillusioned, that you're just so tired of the same things happening. You just want to spice it up. And that's what the hunter is. He spices up things because it just happens. You know what I mean? And it's crazy too that the keeper is the hunter, where he talks about love and unity and whatever, but he's not about that. He's all talk. So yeah, I mean, the hunter really is, there's more to him than meets the eye. He's an interesting character. I mean, I think he's probably one of the most interesting characters in the game. And his philosophy that if you keep, like, who cares what happens? There's always another universe. It doesn't matter who you kill, because you'll go through the Unity and then there's another one. You know what I mean? And it's just like that, and I honestly find that very interesting. He's a very interesting villain. His philosophy is very neat. And I've never really thought of it all that way. I didn't really think of him as the player until that fateful meeting on my ship. So yeah, that is the hunter. Again, if you want me to do the emissary or talk about the Unity, let me know. And I will end with this.
And you chose not to.
There's that hypocrisy again. How much easier would your first time through the Unity have been if the emissary had told you the truth? Did their threats from the shadows keep your universe safe from the Starborn? No, it didn't. We each get to decide what's right and wrong for us. That's the freedom the Unity offers.